That way we can have your test Thursday instead of Friday. All right, 6th grade, just a reminder, 5-1 to 5-5 test is going to be this Thursday. Part of it is no calculator, and that would be the part of long division. So I'll talk more about that probably on Wednesday. So anyways, and then your cumulative exams, I'm hoping to let you take home tomorrow. We just have one more person that has to take it. So hopefully tomorrow, that way you guys can look at it, make corrections, and get it signed. Okay? I'm still missing 2 of you, your last test, 4-5 to 4-7. 2 of you still did not give that to me with parent signatures. So make sure if that's you, I need that this week. All right, today's objective is to add and subtract unlike fractions. I know, very difficult, right? So we're gonna start with the warm-up. Okay, Zach, could you tell us what you got for number 1 on the page 9 in your notes? Good, 1.5. Briar, number 2? Good, 2 8/35. Sean, number 3? Good, negative b over 9. Who would like to tell us the answer to the challenge problem? Not a lot of you. Mary? Good job. K is equal to 18/5. Number 5, or Annalise, we'll go with you. Good, 18 1/7. Charles, number 6. Good. Number 7, Adam. Nope. How'd you get negative? Did you multiply? Yeah, number 7. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. 9/11. Good job. Emma. Yes, but hold on one. Actually, yeah, we'll do that now. Did anyone have the answer as number 2 in an improper fraction? Briar, what'd you get? Sure. Emma, what'd you get? Good job. So number 2 is 78/35. What about number 5 as an improper fraction? Alyssa? Okay. Justin? That's okay. That's not an improper fraction. It's still technically a mixed number, but it's an incorrect mixed number. Be careful. Emma M? Good, 127/7. Be careful with that, Justin. Okay, number 6 is easy. How about number 6, Mary? Good. And I think that's, and number 1. Emma, what'd you have for number 1? Good, 3/2. Okay, does that help you? Okay, and then the last 3, I had you guys do A, B, and C. These ones were pretty easy too. Justin, letter A. Good, 2/3. I just want to see how you were doing with these. Matt, letter B. Good, -1 5/12. What about the improper fraction, Emma H?
By this time, I'm confident that you've heard about the tragic shooting that occurred this past Friday.
Let's just listen to this
time
first.
in an elementary school in Newtown, Connecticut. 26 children and 6 adults lost their lives as a result. As our president said to our nation on Friday, our hearts are broken. Life can be terribly unfair and confusing. No one deserves such a heartbreak. It is through such tragedies that we can learn to treasure even the smallest things in life and to take them each day by day to tell those we love how much they mean to us. It's always difficult, perhaps impossible, to understand why such horrible things happen to innocent people, especially at school. It's possible you knew one of the victims. Maybe you have a relative, a friend, or a neighbor who has been affected. Maybe you now find yourself afraid for your own safety or for the safety of others. At North Hills High School, we want you to know that the faculty and staff at our school place a great deal of emphasis on school safety. We practice our code red, yellow, green, white, severe weather drills with diligence to assure ourselves that in the event of a true emergency, we are prepared. On a monthly basis, our school safety team reviews issues that have an impact on building safety. On an annual basis, our building principals meet with local and regional emergency responders to review our procedures and guidelines. For all of us, this is not easy to understand. Talking to others who understand how we feel can be comforting when we have emotions that are overwhelming and frighten us. What you're feeling is understandable and very normal, so don't be ashamed. As a mark of our respect for the victims of this tragedy, flags outside the school will be flown at half staff in their remembrance. In the meantime, please join me for a moment of silence. Thank you.
Okay, letter C. Mary. Good, -1/20. Okay, questions on the warm-up? Annalise. Hold on, let me go back to it. I'm not quite sure. So what, you would just ignore the 5 and the 3? Is that what you're saying? No. That's what I'm saying. When you change them to improper fractions, you have 202/35 minus 124/35. So when you subtract them, you get 78/35. When you subtract those, did you get 78? Okay, well, when you're adding the opposite, you're still subtracting. In this case, because they're not both negatives. So Annalise, when it's just a subtraction problem, just subtract. The only time you change it to adding the opposite is if it's something like this. -2 minus 1. Then change it to adding the opposite. Yeah. So you just complicated it, if that makes sense. Okay, anyone else? Anything on the warm-up before we go over homework? Sure? Annalise? Yeah. Raise your hand if you got the challenge problem right. Ooh, a lot of you. Okay. Okay. So can someone just explain what was your strategy? Like, what did you do first in the challenge problem, Sean? Okay. 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 Awesome. Very good. Just curious if anyone got that. Okay. We're good? Anyone else? Okay, let's go over practice 5.2. I'm going to ask you guys for some of these, and I'm going to read some of them. I just want to make sure everyone's on the same page. So practice 5.2. You can give your answer either as an improper fraction or mixed number, because I know I told you guys you could leave it either way. Okay, so Zach, we'll start with you with number 1. Good. Who left their answer as an improper fraction? Okay. So we have 24/13. Okay, Briar, number 2. Good. Number 3, Sean. Good job. Number 4, Annalise. Good. So this is a 1. 1 and 3/43 or 46/43. Okay, number 5, Charles. Good. -2/15. 6, Mary. Good job. Adam, number 7. Good. Number 8, Emma M. Good job. Number 9, Donatus. 12 3/5. Yep. Does anyone have the improper fraction? Emma H. Number 9. Good. 63/5. Number 10, Alyssa. It should be -1 1/7. Not 5. Okay, I'll come back to that one in a little bit. Improper fraction, Emma M, for number 10. Good, -8/7. Doug, number 11. Good, -4 2/3. And the improper fraction of -4 2/3. Mary? No. We'll come back to that if you're not sure why. Emma M? Good, -14/3. Number 12 should be -11 5/9. The improper fraction of that, Mary? Yes. Very good. And that's for number 12. Okay, I'm going to flip here. So Justin, number 13. Good, 8 and 6/11ths. Improper fraction for this one. Annalise? Yep, good job. Some of them I have to do in my head, sorry. Okay, 14, Matt? Good, 4 3/5. Improper fraction of this one. Charles? Yeah, don't do that. You're probably just trying to confuse me. That really means positive. Okay, Charles, you could do the improper fraction in your head. 4 3/5. Good, 23/5. Okay, Zach, number 15. Good, 2. Number 16, Briar. Nope, careful. Sean, 16. Good, negative 5 5/8. Emma M, improper fraction. Good, negative 45/8. Annalise, number 17. Careful. If there's an x in the numerator, you cannot convert it to a mixed number because they're not, you can't convert it. If there's only an x on top, you have to leave it as an improper fraction. Mary? Yep, 17 is 6x over 5. 18, Charles. Good, 5x over 7. 19, Emma M. Good, 4 over 7x. 20, Donatus. Nope. You didn't see that other negative sign in front. Alyssa, number 20. Good. Now that one you can simplify. Emma H, what does that reduce to? Good, negative x. Number 21, Doug. Good, negative 7 over x. 22, Justin. Good, 1 over 12x. 23, Matt. Close. Careful on that, Justin. Good, 4 over 3x. 24, Zach. Good, 3 over 1x. Okay, let's flip over. These ones were a little tricky, so I'm interested to see how you guys did on these. Briar, 25. Good, 17 over 12, or 1 5/12. Sean, 26. Good, so 9/8, or 1 1/8. Excuse me, 27, Annalise. Good, negative 1 over 14. Charles, 28. Good, 11/7, or 1 4/7. Mary, 29. Good, negative 13 over 9, or negative 1 4/9. Adam, number 30. Good, 1/4. Emma M, 31. Good, so yes, and then can you explain why in your own words? Yeah, because 2/3 is less than 7 3/4. 7 3/4 is how much wood you have, and with the two pieces you're cutting, when you added those together, you get 7 2/3. Okay, which is less than 7 3/4. So you should have more than yes, I just don't have a ton of room up here. Emma H, 32. Good, half a second faster. Alyssa, 33. Good, 3 3/16 pounds. All right, questions, Emma M. Yeah, that would be helpful. 51 over 16. Sorry, I thought I got them all. Sorry. Go ahead, Emma. 32? Okay. Okay, so let me move this. All right, so 32, we have you run the 60-yard dash in 7 9/20 seconds. Your friend runs it in 6 19/20 seconds. First thing I did was convert them to improper fractions. Did you do that? Okay. So did you get 149 over 20 and 139 over 20? Subtract them. You get 10 over 20, which is 1/2 of a second faster. Oh, you forgot about the denominator. Okay. You good? Okay, Alyssa? Number 10, that's fine. Okay, so let me start with Alyssa. What was your, when you converted them to improper fractions on 10, what did you get? Okay. So you subtracted them, right? Then you just subtracted wrong. 36 minus 44 is -8. You just subtracted wrong by accident. I don't know why, but it happens. You know what I mean? Like, think about it as 44 minus 36. It's 8. Okay. Okay. And then are you okay with converting it to a mixed number? It's easy to make silly mistakes on some of these, especially when there's so many this close together. Annalise, what number? Well, you just read the problem wrong. It's not negative. Yeah, the answer is right here. Yep. Because there's not a variable at the bottom, so there's nothing else to simplify. Think about if you were trying to do long division with this. Doesn't make sense because there's not anything that goes into this. This doesn't. Yeah, there's not an x on the bottom, so if there's not any other variables in the bottom, you have to stop there. You cannot simplify any further, okay? Which includes not changing that to a mixed number. Just leave it like this. I probably would take off a little bit because you need to know that you can't convert that any further, okay? Mary. Okay, so let's start with what are your improper fractions that you, well, what are your improper fractions? Should be 116 over 15. That's the problem. You just either multiplied or added wrong, I'm not quite sure. You should have done 7 times 15 plus 11, and you get 116. So negative 70 over 15, which is negative 14 over 3. Which is negative 4 2/3. Okay? Sure? Jeremy? No. Jeremy, were you here when I taught it or were you taking a test? No, you listened to the lesson, right? Convert them all to improper fractions. Convert them all to improper fractions. Okay? Anyone else on the homework? Sure? Jeremy? Do you need to check your answers? Okay, here. In the boxes. All right, let's take your notes out. We're actually opening up to page 10 because you did everything on page 9 for the warm-up. So starting with page 10. So again, the objective is to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators. I am going to kind of speed through this because you guys proved to me on the warm-up that you know what you're doing. So I'm not going to waste your time. So we're also going to talk about multiplying today. Okay? So stay with me here. So we're on example 2, page 10 of your notes. Okay? It says here adding mixed numbers, and I'm going to add in with unlike denominators. Okay? Very first thing I want you guys to do is let's change them to improper fractions first. So who can tell us what negative 5 1/6 becomes? Doug? What kind of 31 over 6? Good. Negative 31 over 6 plus negative 2 3/10 becomes what improper fraction? Mary? Good. Negative 23 over 10. Okay, so I still want you to convert them first. Okay, now what do we have to do before we add or subtract? Briar? Good. It's kind of like you're finding the least common denominator. We need to find what the common denominator is here. So real quick in your heads, figure out what's the least common denominator of 6 and 10. Adam? Good, 30. So underneath it, I'm going to put 30 on the bottom for both of them. Okay. This one is still going to be negative, and this one is still going to be negative. Okay. Is everyone clear on how to convert? Who can explain how to change negative 31/6 to something over 30? What's the process, Briar? Good. So 6 goes into 30 how many times, Briar? Good, 5. So 5 times 31, anyone can tell us? 5 times 31, Annalise? Close. Good, negative 155. Okay, and then the other one, we have, Alyssa, 10 goes into 30 how many times? Good, 3. So who can tell us 23 times 3, Emma H? Good, 69. So we have negative 155 over 30 plus negative 69 over 30. When you're adding, please keep the negative there. So what is negative 155 plus negative 69? Either in your head or on your calculator. Come on, a lot of you guys are good at mental math. Most of you, I should say. Adam? Back up a little bit. Just give us what this is. Add those first. You give us the answer, which is right. No, you still gave us, just add it. Adam, just add it with 30 on the bottom. You're like jumping way ahead of us. Simple. There we go. Good job. Even though you kind of worked backwards, that works. All right, so that could be simplified if you want to leave it as an improper fraction. So what is the simplified improper fraction? Mary. Good, negative 112/15. All right, Charles, what's the mixed number? Okay, do you leave it as an improper? Okay, who has the mixed number? Yeah, you can leave it. Donatus? I let you. Negative 7 and 7/15. Good. Doesn't matter to me. All right. Questions on that one? Thumbs up, thumbs middle, thumbs down. Easy, medium, hard. Well, you never know. All right, thank you. All righty, let's talk about a hiking word problem. Okay, example 3 says, you are hiking a 12 1/5 mile trail. You have already hiked 6 1/12 miles. How many more miles do you have to hike before reaching the end of the trail? So you're hiking a 12 1/5 mile trail. You have already hiked 6 1/2 miles. How many more miles do you have to hike before you reach the end? How do we do this? So just before you convert anything, just tell us what you actually need to do here to solve this. Matt? Good. Why, Matt? Yep. Good. So first step, let's convert these to improper fractions. So Annalise, what's the improper fraction of this one? That's okay. I'm not worried about the door. Okay, 6 1/2 is what improper fraction? Charles? Good, 13 halves. Okay. Oh, yeah, and you can. Yep, you can. Okay, so what is the least common denominator? In other words, what's the common denominator? Justin? Good, 10. Okay, so let's start with 61/5. So think about 5 goes into 10 2 times. So what's 2 times 61? Zach? Good, 122. 2 goes into 10 5 times. Donatus, 5 times 13 is? Good, 65. Okay, 122 minus 65. Doug? You didn't answer my question. 122, sit up, please. 122 minus 65. Okay, 57, and then put your denominator. Okay, converting that to a mixed number. Matt? Good, 5 7/10. And it should be miles, yeah. Either answer is fine. Just make sure you have your units, please. No. Questions on that one? Oh, yeah. And, you know, like Charles was saying, use your common sense on certain problems. The reason I'm keeping it like this is because the chapter's about fractions, but you can change it to decimals. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's fine with me. Yeah. All right, let's go to example 4. Simplifying the expression, now there's variables. So we have a over 4 minus a over 8. So we need to find a common denominator. So common denominator is going to be 8. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the second one. That one does not need changed. So the first one, 4 goes into 8 2 times. Okay, 2 times a is 2a. So But what's 2a minus 1a? Just as a reminder from chapter 2. Briar. Good, a. So a over 8 is your answer. That is completely simplified. Mary. Oh, definitely. Yes. We're following the lesson. Don't forget. Questions on 4. Okay, I want you guys and girls to try A, B, and C of the closing. And then we're going to talk about multiplying. Shh, quiet, please. Try A, B, and C. And make sure your answers are completely simplified, whether you're leaving them as an improper fraction or a mixed number. Great job. Where's your answer for this one? Good. Good job. Oh, jeez, 10 honest. You're good so far. Very good job. Very good job. You guys are doing great. Good job. You know that one's not right. That's not right. Yeah. You got 7 for this one? That's not right either. Are you converting them wrong? 4 times 6 is 24. So 29 over 6. 18. Okay, no, you just must be finding common denominators wrong. You have, is that an 87 over 18? It should be 87. Okay, another minute or two. Be careful with your converting, guys. Is this your answer? Try that one again. I would convert them to improper fractions so you don't mess up. Good job. All right. Briar, what did you get for the first one? So if you forget to simplify, no, that's not right. I was trying to think if you forgot to simplify, but no. Actually, you might have just forgot to simplify. Your fraction needs simplified further. Adam? 7 and 5/18. And the improper fraction, Annalise? Good, 131/18. You need to put one answer down. And whatever the answer is, it has to be completely simplified. Okay, but just make sure that the one you have circled or the one you have on the answer line is completely simplified. Don't put 2 answers down, because if one of them's wrong, it's just going to be wrong. Okay? Okay, letter B, Mary. Good, negative 121 over 21. And then the mixed number, Alyssa? 21st or 24th? Good. Okay, just making sure. Negative 5 and 16 21st. Okay, and then Emma H, what about C? Very good. 2C over 35. Emma M. Yeah. You remember how to get there? Okay. All right, questions on the closing. Okay, flip over your notes to page 12. I just want to talk a little bit about multiplying. It's pretty basic. We've already done it a little bit this year, so I just want to spend 10 minutes or so refreshing your memory on multiplying fractions and mixed numbers. So we're starting with page 12, the box at the top. Okay. Don't forget, and again, we've discussed this a lot, the word product means multiply. So that's the first thing we're going to talk about. Okay. Multiplying fractions. The product of two or more fractions is equal to the product of the numerators over the product of the denominators. We are going to talk about cross-simplifying again and multiplying across the top, across the bottom, which we've talked about cross-simplifying before. I know some of you like it and some of you don't. So we'll come back to that because in this lesson, the cross-simplifying really helps. Yeah, it really helps, especially with the bigger numbers, and especially when we're multiplying three different fractions, which is going to happen. I'll show you. Yep. Yep, it's going to get kind of tricky. And the other reason they have chapter 5, like at this point in the book, is they're going to throw in some order of operation problems with adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions and mixed numbers. Fun, 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 right? So that's the other reason that they have this chapter 5 where they do, because they make it much harder than your regular 6th grade class makes this. I know you guys have already taken the test on this, but it's not as hard as what we're doing, especially with the OOO stuff. Adam, was yours hard? Oh. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, Mary, let's hold that thought for a second. Okay, or is it a question? Okay, so here's one example, and then we'll do some together. So 3 over 5 times 4 over 7. So I put an example up here that we don't have to cross simplify just to keep it as basic as we can. So if you're multiplying, that's what I just said. I put one up here that you cannot cross simplify. So if it's just a basic fraction that you're not able to cross simplify, you follow the definition you just wrote down. Multiply across the top, across the bottom. 3 times 4 is 12. 5 times 7 is 35. That's it. Now that's if you are not able to cross simplify. So I'm going to show you how to cross simplify with numbers and if there are variables. Annalise, is that a question or are you stretching? Okay, we're going to go right to example 1A. Sean? Something like that. Yeah. Okay, so example 1A. Okay, so we have 5 12ths times negative 3 over 20. Let's cross simplify. Very first thing I want you to do, guys, is take this negative in front of the 3 over 20ths and put it next to the 3. If the negative's in the middle of the fraction, remember that means the fraction's negative. Move that negative, put it with the numerator just so you don't lose the negative. It doesn't matter what number it goes with, but I'd prefer you put it with the numerator. Okay, we can cross simplify, okay? So let's look at 5 and 20. Remember, cross simplifying is look across, see if they have a number that goes into both of them. So Adam, what number goes into both of these? Good, 5. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 24 times. Let's look at the other side. We can cross simplify negative 3 and 12. What number goes into negative 3 and 12? Alyssa? Good. So negative 3, we'll do, you want to do negative 3 instead of positive 3? Doesn't matter. Okay, let's do negative 3. Negative 3 goes into negative 3 once. 12 divided by negative 3 is negative 4. So whether you cross simplified with the negative 3 or the positive 3, doesn't matter. Okay, we're on page 12, Emma. After you cross simplify, multiply across the top, across the bottom. 1 times 1 is 1. Negative 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. So whether you leave your answer with the negative in the middle of the fraction, on the top of the fraction, or on the bottom of the fraction, it does not matter. It's all the same. You guys remember this from the beginning of the year? We did some of this in chapter 1. Okay. Any questions on cross simplifying? Okay, letter B. Can we cross simplify on this one? Justin? Okay, what number goes into both of them? Good. 7 goes into both of them. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 14 divided by 7 is 2. There's no negatives on this one, so multiply across the top, across the bottom. We get 5 over 32. Too easy. Okay. Figured that, just making sure I'm not going too fast. All right, example 2. Okay, water use. Did you guys already answer it? Okay. The shower head in your house uses 2.5 gallons of water per minute. Not sure if this is true or not. If you take a 7-minute shower, how many gallons of water do you use? So, yeah, this is a great question. So hard. How do we start this? It's accelerated math's getting easier this week, huh? How do we start this? I should have all your hands up. How do we start this? Even if you already did it. Doug, how do we start it? Before all that, what do you do to find? You add, subtract, multiply, divide. Add, subtract, multiply, divide. No. You can't do it a different way. Add, subtract, multiply, divide. Pick one of them. What do you do here to find the answer? Good. Multiply. Okay. What are we multiplying? Briar. Good. So 2.5 times 7. Convert 2.5. Matt, 2.5 is what improper fraction? Good. 5 over 2 times 7 over 1. Any whole number, I suggest that you put a 1 on the bottom. Is there anything we can cross simplify? No. Multiply across the top, across the bottom. We get 35 over 2, which is what mixed number if you convert it? Adam? 17. Good. So 17.5. And what does that mean in regards to this problem? Good, Adam. Okay, so you use 17.5 gallons of H2O, water. It's a lot of water. Not sure if that's true or not, but questions on that? Okay, let's go to example 3, which is very similar. Okay, example 3A. We have negative 3 1/5 times 4 1/6. So just like the shower problem, convert first. You can. This is just like adding and subtracting, Charles. You can keep, that's fine. You can do it that way. We're converting, just because I told you I want to do all of them as converting to keep it the same. Just like adding and subtracting, you can multiply them as mixed numbers. We're going to convert. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. So negative 16/5 times 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25 over 6. I am going to cross the negative off, put it with the 16. Let's cross simplify. What's something we can cross simplify, Adam? Good. So 5 goes into 5 once. 25 divided by 5 is 5. What else? Justin? Good. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. Negative 16 divided by 2 is negative 8. Multiply across the top, across the bottom, we get negative 40 over 3. Okay, what is the mixed number? Annalise? Negative 13. I just didn't hear you. I just didn't hear the rest of your. Good, thank you. Questions on that, Mary? Don't do it that way. Don't do it that way, especially on problems like this. That's why I highly recommend that you convert. It gets too complicated on some of the problems. It's kind of like with subtracting, Mary. Whenever the numerator is smaller than, the numerator on top is smaller than the numerator on the bottom, and you have to borrow, it gets to be very tedious. I highly suggest that you convert them to improper fractions and then multiply. Sometimes. You mean times? No, correct. It's not negative 12. Sometimes that works, Charles, but not all the time. It's kind of like the subtracting when you have to borrow things. If you never learned how to borrow things, you can't do it that way. I would always convert them. your book actually teaches these by converting as well. Annalise? 2 goes into each of them. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Nope, you're cross-simplifying. All right, let's go to some with variables. So let's go to example 4A. So I'm skipping around here. So example 4A. All right, so m over 4 times negative 10 over 7. The very first thing I want you to do is take the negative, put it with the 10. And now let's cross simplify. So the 4 and the 10, what goes into both 4 and negative 10? Emma H? Good. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. Are you with me? Okay. Multiply across the top, across the bottom, we get negative 5m over 14. That is completely simplified. I know, isn't this like, this is so difficult, I know. Okay, letter B, this one's kind of fun. What can we cross simplify on letter B? What can we cross simplify, Annalise? What number goes into both of them? Good, 3 goes into both 9 and 12. 9 divided by 3 is 3, 12 divided by 3 is 4. Is there anything else we can cross simplify? Nope, so think back to the last chapter. When you're multiplying same base, what do we do with exponents? Emma M? You add them. So this is really a 1. 1 times 3 is 3. N to the 4th times n to the 2nd is n to the 6th. 4 times 10 is 40. Kind of fun, right? Okay, let's do the closing together, and then, well, actually, let's do one of the closings together, and then I want to do one more problem with you. Let's do letter A of the closing together. If you're going ahead of me, that's fine. Okay, letter A of the closing. Sean, can we cross-simplify anything? What can we cross-simplify? Good. 2 goes into 2 once, 8 goes into 2 4 times. Okay, so now we're multiplying across the top, across the bottom. Justin, what's 1x times 3x squared? Good. 3x cubed. 5 times 4 is 20. That's it. Okay, let me give you a harder one. You ready? Everyone okay with that, right? Okay. I want you, if you want, add underneath the closing, add this. Negative 2/3 times half plus 4/6. It's on the smartboard. Negative 2/3 times 1/2 plus 4/6. All right, so O tells us to do what? Mary tells us to do what? Multiply first. Before we multiply, can we cross simplify? Emma H, what can we cross simplify? Good. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So multiply before you add. Okay. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Rewrite your plus 4/6. Now what? Melissa, now what? Good. So find a common denominator. Negative 2/6 plus 4/6 is, Doug? You can. Good, 2 over 6. I'm following our steps, Charles, but you can. And then 2/6 reduces to? Doug? Good, 1 over 3. Now, Charles' point is, why can't you just reduce the 4/6 to 2/3? You can. Yeah. You're right. But you were right. Now, if I wasn't teaching you, I probably would have done it that way. I'm just trying to be consistent with the lesson, kind of like the exponent problems where I did them in a certain order, but you guys ended up finding shortcuts that I also use. So you're more than welcome. If you see something like this, just simplify this side instead of finding a common denominator, because you are saving yourself time. Well, yeah, you're right. That's if we simplify the 4/3, right? If we realize that that can be simplified, which is very easy. So yeah, I would say simplify that. Either way, you get 1/3. Annalise? Up here? We multiplied. Yeah, that's what we did too. You did it with us. You should have done it with us. But Charles is saying, instead of doing it the way we did, he said, why don't we just change the 4/6 to 2/3 and then add, and you get 1/3. All right, homework. Open up your homework packet to 5.3 and 5.4. Starting with practice 5.3. Hey guys, quiet please. 2 to 28 even, 29 to 31. Practice 5.4. You will not have homework over break, so bear with me. Practice 5.4. I want you to do the odds. There's one question I have to ask you about practice 5.4, and that is, how do you find area of a triangle? Dryer? Good. The only thing that's that you, well, I hope you don't forget, but it's been a while, base times height divided by 2. Before you multiply mixed numbers, what should you do? Before you multiply, Mary? Yep, convert them to improper fractions. Before you add or subtract fractions with unlike denominators, convert them to improper fractions. Find a like denominator. I will warn you, there are some OOO problems in here. Please multiply, divide from left to right before you add, subtract from left to right. Some of these are a little bit tricky, kind of like that last problem we did. Make sure your answers are completely simplified. Everything else you should be okay with. Alyssa. Yes, we will share weekend stories tomorrow, I promise. We will. Adam, I always, every week we've talked about them, so don't say that. No, we did it on Friday. Yes. I would never lie to you. Okay, good job today. Get packed up. Test Thursday, don't forget.